Operation Acoustic Kitty, the CIA's $20 million cat spy disaster. Picture this: the Cold War is at its peak. Washington and Moscow are locked in a deadly game of shadows, where one whispered word, one overheard secret, could tip the balance of power. Now imagine the CIA pouring millions of dollars, not into satellites or rockets, but into a cat. A living, breathing house cat surgically transformed into a purring surveillance machine. This isn't a joke. This was Operation Acoustic Kitty, a top-secret CIA mission that remained hidden for more than 50 years. And what happened is as shocking as it is absurd. The year is the early 1960s. The Cuban Missile Crisis is fresh in memory. Nuclear war feels just one bad decision away. Every corner of Washington is buzzing with fear of Soviet infiltration. The CIA, under immense pressure, is desperate for new methods of surveillance, something unpredictable, something the Soviets would never see coming. In an age when the US military was experimenting with mind control truth serums and psychic spies, one project pushed the limits of imagination. That project was Operation Acoustic Kitty, a bizarre attempt to weaponize one of the world's most aloof and unpredictable animals. But why a cat? To intelligence officers, the answer was simple. No one suspects a cat. Feral cats wandered freely across the lawns of embassies, slipped through open windows, and lounged in gardens, where Soviet officials met in hushed tones. They were invisible, ignored, perfect candidates for espionage. And by the 1960s, the CIA's Office of Technical Services had been perfecting tiny listening devices. The idea was intoxicating. Implant a microphone inside a cat, rig its body with radio transmitters, and suddenly America had the ultimate living bug. An agent that could walk right up to a Soviet diplomat and listen in on state secrets. To the CIA, it sounded like science fiction. But in the paranoid fog of the Cold War, science fiction was just another word for tomorrow's weapon. The technology and procedure. This was no collar, no gadgets strapped to the back. The CIA wanted complete invisibility, so they turned to surgeons. In a procedure that lasted over an hour, doctors implanted a tiny microphone inside the cat's ear canal, so sensitive it could pick up the faintest murmur. Behind the skull, they tucked a 3/4-inch radio transmitter. Wires as thin as strands of fur ran along the spine, disguised beneath the cat's coat. The tail, perhaps the most chilling detail, was transformed into an antenna, capable of transmitting conversations to CIA receivers. It was a Frankensteinian fusion of biology and technology, a cat on the outside, a spy machine within. But the technology wasn't the only challenge. The real problem was the cat itself. Training and challenges. Cats are independent. They don't follow orders. They don't fetch. They sleep when they want, eat when they want, and wander as they please. The CIA had to rewire not only the cat's body, but its very instincts. Trainers spent months trying to condition the feline, rewarding it with food for moving to specific locations, attempting to control hunger so it wouldn't wander off mid-mission. Commands were paired with audio cues. The idea was to sculpt the ultimate obedient spy. But there was one problem. You can't out-train a cat's curiosity. Sometimes it would nap instead of moving. Other times it would chase birds. Each session revealed the painful truth. The CIA had chosen the most uncontrollable animal imaginable. Calca, the famous failed mission. Finally, after years of preparation and a staggering investment, the CIA launched its first live test. The target, 2 Soviet officials sitting on a park bench outside the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. The moment was tense. Handlers released the cat onto the sidewalk. If it worked, the CIA would hear conversations once thought unreachable. America would have a new secret weapon. But in seconds, the dream collapsed. Instead of heading toward the Soviets, the cat darted into the street. Within moments, bam! A taxi struck it down. Years of research, millions of dollars, and the CIA's great Cold War hope ended in the blink of an eye. Some accounts claim the cat survived, had the devices removed, and lived peacefully. Others say the mission ended right there. The animal's body proof of the project's folly. But either way, Operation Acoustic Kitty was finished. Financial cost and legacy. The price tag? An astonishing $20 million. Former CIA officer Victor Marchetti later confirmed the absurd truth. Yes, the project was real, Yes, the training showed some promise, but reality was harsher. Streets, cars, dogs, random distractions, factors impossible to control, made the idea unworkable. By 1967, Operation Acoustic Kitty was officially shut down. Buried in classified archives, it became one of the CIA's strangest secrets, revealed to the world only decades later when documents were declassified. Why this story fascinates. What makes this story unforgettable is not just the waste of millions, but what it says about the times. The Cold War was an era of paranoia where every idea, no matter how insane, was worth trying if it might uncover a Soviet secret. It was an age when human psychology was tested with LSD, when psychic warfare was studied, when animals, from dolphins to pigeons, were conscripted into battle. And in that world, turning a cat into a spy didn't just seem possible, it seemed necessary. But in the end, Operation Acoustic Kitty was defeated not by Soviet counterintelligence, not by technical failure, but by the very nature of cats themselves. Creatures too independent, too unpredictable to ever be controlled. The Operation Acoustic Kitty remains one of the strangest espionage projects in history, a bizarre blend of high technology, Cold War desperation, and feline stubbornness. It's a reminder that even the most brilliant intelligence minds can be blinded by paranoia, wasting millions on a plan undone by the simplest of truths. You can't tell a cat what to do. So next time you see a cat slinking through the shadows, ask yourself, was it just chasing a bird? Or was it, once upon a time, imagined as a secret weapon in the deadliest game of the 20th century? If this wild tale of Cold War cats and covert chaos blew your mind, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable true stories from the hidden corners of history. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next.